Hey guys,
I'm Jerry.
I'm Sierra.
We're ladies.
And we tangent.
We've just traded one dirty blanket for another.
That's what life is really all about.
What's up, everyone? Hello.
Oh boy, are we sleepy girls.
Hey, well, we're going to get the best sleep of our lives if all is true that I've seen on Facebook. Nope.
You're on
TikTok.
You're on Rapture TikTok?
I'm on Rapture TikTok somehow. Well, we are, because the only TikTok that I really engage with is our account.
Yeah. Great.
So,
I love that for us.
We're on Rapture TikTok.
I just started getting them after you mentioned it.
I mentioned
today.
it. Yeah,
and so I was
have.
like, whoa, you unlocked something in my phone algorithm,
Yeah.
I think.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm curious about it. I'm also like, hey,
It's on Tuesday.
it's my anniversary. It's my anniversary today. Happy 2 years of marriage.
Yeah.
It's Rapture Day for us.
Oh my God, I just realized, I'm like, why do I feel so disoriented? I've had a fucking
AirPod in your ear.
AirPod in my ear.
Only one side's noise canceling.
I was listening to the other side. This just in. We're still here.
Yeah, I think it's probably going to be fine, guys. Based on the 2,000 plus years of thinking that the rapture was coming,
Yeah.
I think we're going to be fine.
Yeah, if you,
And that's really impressive for my OCD, mind you, because when you told me, I did spiral a little bit.
you did?
Well, yeah, I always do when someone says something, end of the world is coming, and it really doesn't feel great right now in the world. So I was
That's
like, I
true.
don't know.
That's true. I almost feel like it's, I don't know, it feels like the next logical step in a cycle of just mass hysteria.
Rapture?
Yeah.
Oh, or just saying it's coming.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, that's a crazy step.
No. I just feel like that's the playbook.
Yeah.
It's like the economy crashes.
Yeah.
And some fuck shit's going on and people are unsure, and then they're like, well, that's because it's the rapture.
Yeah.
Like that's just how everyone explains it away, and then the day comes and goes and everyone's like, well, all right, moving on
Until next time, I guess.
yeah, what's new on Disney Plus or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, what's Flappy Bird about?
What is Flappy Bird about? Can I
Mosby,
help you?
lay
Just
down.
looked me straight in my mouth hole.
He's covered in burrs again. He keeps
Oh.
going outside and like running through the bushes and getting little burrs on him, which I always have to pick out before we go to bed because
Then he sleeps in your bed.
yeah,
Yeah.
and he does.
Yeah.
And he does. Speaking of sleeping in beds,
Oh my God, please.
I have been trying to read Harry Potter to my kids
Okay.
in bed.
Yes.
Fuck the writer of that book though. But
Oh,
like
okay, yeah.
I really want to it feels like a rite of passage.
Yeah, like the
In a
first
way.
chapter book
Yes.
situation. Yeah,
Yes.
I get
And I'm
that.
sure I could find another one, but it was on Kindle Unlimited, and
Yeah,
so I didn't
right.
have to buy it.
Yeah.
But I had downloaded it a while ago to read to my kids, and they were furious that there were no pictures.
Sure.
So they boycotted, and then they read me The Hungry
Ahead of
Little
their
Cat.
time.
I
Ahead
know.
of their time.
They really are. They read to me The Hungry Little Caterpillar,
Oh.
except they do their own version because they think they have it memorized, and they don't, but I don't care to correct them. And they leave out a lot of words.
Yeah.
There's not even that many words in that book, honestly, but who am I?
Yeah.
They're young and they're trying. But anyway, tonight they
No,
did.
they're not. I'm just kidding.
But they let me read Harry Potter, and they both fell asleep while I was reading it out loud. And
that's cute.
I've never read it.
Yeah.
I've only ever watched the movies.
Welcome.
I know. And it just feels like a really sweet moment to be reading it with them.
Yeah.
And Forrest fell asleep on my shoulder, and then Ollie was laying at the foot of the bed, and he fell asleep.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't even get it through one chapter.
Yeah.
They were knocked out.
Yeah.
And so I picked Ollie up and was carrying him to his room, and he goes, that made me like really sleepy. That's a chapter book. Chapter books make me sleepy.
So true.
They do? How do you know that? I mean, me too, but
No, that's so true. I did that for a while with Percy Jackson, was what me and Noah read together. That was a pretty fun one, but it got, well, maybe read it to him when he was a little too young. It got kind of scary in some parts.
I've been changing a lot of the words.
Yeah.
In the beginning when I think it's McGonagall was like Voldemort's killed so many people. Why couldn't he kill that kid? And I just say hurt.
Yeah.
Like, why couldn't he? He's hurt so many people. Why couldn't he hurt this kid? Like, I've been tweaking the words around.
Yeah.
I say silly instead of stupid.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Gotta do it.
Yeah, I'm like actively editing as if reading isn't hard enough for me. I'm now also improvising alternative words that I would rather my kids hear.
That's freaking funny. Also, speaking of more beds, we just got back from tour again for Girls Gone Mild, which is slumber party themed. And in case you need this reminder, it is not stand-up comedy.
We got one message from somebody who doesn't even follow us.
I don't think that they knew what they were coming to.
Yeah.
But
I reminded Sierra that this one person who was like, hey, I think people should know that it's not an hour of stand-up. And I was like, yeah, babe.
They do. Most
of
them do. So in case you needed that reminder, there will be other videos played, moments of videos.
It's a hybrid.
There are jokes from our straight mouths. Well, we're not straight, but straight from our mouths.
Yeah.
Into a microphone, if that's your type of humor.
Yeah.
And you find whatever spews out of here funny.
You know what's so funny is like we read so many sweet messages, so many posts that people had shared on Facebook in the Fanjas group or like in our personal messages or on stories and stuff. But this one message has gotten under Sierra's skin in the worst way.
They always do.
I even reminded her that there was a group of people in Cincinnati who showed up to the show, had no idea what the show was. They just liked going to the Funny Bone.
Yeah.
And they really enjoyed it. And they couldn't stop talking about it with us at the bar. And they said they were going to start following us. And I was like, that's the weirdest way to find a podcast.
I know. And they were older women too. I normally, sometimes I worry they're my enemies.
Yes.
Because sometimes I feel like they don't like me much. Yeah. Or our humor, I guess. But boy, did we find a good pocket of them.
Yeah.
I'll tell you
we did.
That is nice.
I will say there was a mom, and if this is your mom, you can tell her I said this. She scared the shit out of me at our meet and greet. She scared me so very much because she told me she told us she was a boomer.
Yeah.
She was like, boomer, be nice. And I was like, I'm honestly so scared.
Immediately scared.
I'm immediately so scared to be. I was like, I started replaying everything from the show and I'm like, did I talk shit on boomers?
Yeah. What?
I think the only thing I said was in the beginning, I'm doing like a little millennial check, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, Gen Z, you might know some of this, so chime in. Gen X, stop yelling at me.
Yeah.
Like that was a joke that I made, and I was like, I didn't say shit about boomers.
No. Just Gen X.
But
it's just because of that one TikTok we did, which still is under our skin, obviously. Guys, all it takes is one negative comment to make me spiral.
Don't try it.
Please don't. And I'm just kidding. I'm really not spiraling. I just really did want to say that because I was like, I guess we've never maybe made a formal announcement. And so I don't want anyone going there thinking it is just like either a straight live podcast like we're doing right now or like it is a show. It's a performance.
I'm gonna be honest. If we did like a straight live podcast like this,
so boring, I feel.
Yeah, I think it would suck.
Yeah, I would hate, no offense, I would hate to go and watch just two people talk on a couch for an hour. I'm sure other people would.
I think it would be almost nearly impossible for us like not to do crowd work, like not to involve
We do it during
people.
the show and we don't even mean to.
Yeah, but like if it was just you guys sit there and watch us do what we do, I know that you do that anyway, but like live and in person, I would feel
so weird.
Really weird about it.
We did do that with our first two shows.
Yeah,
but we did a lot of we did a lot of crowd work.
And we had the people at the shows be the ones who sent in the scandals.
So that was
fun. Yeah, I guess it was, I don't know. Yeah, because we like called people out. We were like, were you the person who shit in the hallway?
Yeah, it was really fun.
Was that one?
I think so.
There was
a pooping somewhere.
Yeah.
Kindergarten pooping, I'm pretty sure.
There was a trees full of dildos.
Dildo tree,
yeah.
Wow.
Every city's got one or whatever.
Can you tell that our social battery is on fucking zero?
We didn't get home until 2:30 in the morning.
Yep.
technically Saturday morning, but
Yep.
Friday night into Saturday morning. And then we both had plans the next day.
Yeah,
Like I was so excited to get up and go to my kids' soccer game, but that was at like 10:30 in the morning.
Yep. And then I got up and I had a wedding that whole next night. Then the next day, which is today, right now, currently, there was a game and Corey didn't tell me until very recently that he invited everyone over to our house for a game and to have our niece's birthday party there. And I was like, that is perfect. Great. What I want to do after this wedding that I just went to and traveling all fucking week is get up and clean my house. But I did. We had people there, but I was telling people because I felt like the worst human when everyone was there. I was just a sloth on the couch. Like not normally I'm up, I'm talking to people, I'm chit-chatting. I could not do it. And I was like, I just want everyone to know I'm so sorry. I feel like I'm like one step away from comatose. Like I am struggling for my eyeballs to stay open right now. So.
I on Saturday, like my body shut down when I was on the couch. I don't nap typically, especially when my kids are here. But I passed out, and I think they were both sitting on top of me.
Yes.
And I just was like, I have to system shut down just for a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to doing that again as soon as we're done here.
Yep, 100%.
Your skin looks so nice.
Does it? I have no makeup on.
No, I know that.
Thank you.
Yeah, your skin looks really nice.
I've been really trying. I don't know really what I'm using.
You look like a little slut with your shoulder out right now.
I'm just like, I'm in pants
God.
and I want to feel cozy, but I am hot.
Yeah, no, it is
So I feel like
warm.
at least one shoulder
Especially
needs
with
to be
all
out.
these lights on. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
However, are we finally going to do it?
Do what?
The episode that we've been talking about doing?
I guess we can. I feel like I should get these lights lower and shoot it up towards my chin.
What? Wait, what do you think we're doing?
What do you think we're doing?
Talking about the unknown number?
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's a deeper reason.
Yeah, but I was just saying all the memes.
Oh.
You get what I'm saying?
I thought you were saying because we were going to tell like ghost stories or something.
No, I was saying all the memes of her
guys
are her face illuminated
by that cell phone. They
and
did her dirty in some of those clips.
So dirty with those angles. Arguably not as dirty as
she did.
Spoiler
a lot
alert,
of people.
Yeah.
If you don't want spoilers for the, I think it's called Unknown Number, the high school catfish story or something like that. It's a documentary on Netflix. We told you to watch it like 2 weeks ago.
And also, it's been out for a while, and I had it ruined for me on social media.
It was ruined for me as well.
Yeah.
But that didn't make it hit any different.
Correct.
I'll tell you that.
Correct.
So
I could not have been prepared for what was being said in those messages.
Yeah.
So if you're not sure what we're talking about and you don't care to watch it, essentially, she was in middle school, right?
She was 13 when it started.
When it started, there was a girl, and was it her and her boyfriend in a group message? Who were both receiving these messages?
I think it was just her at first.
Okay.
I think it was just her. Received a message about her boyfriend saying something about he was going to a Halloween party and it was making fun of her for not getting invited or something. Nobody likes you, nobody wants you or something like that.
Yeah.
And she got upset, obviously, asked the boyfriend. He's like, I don't know who that would be, but you're invited. I don't think she ends up going. It's a whole thing. Nothing happens then. 9 months go by, nothing happens. Now we're dealing with 14-year-olds probably in high school.
Or freshman year.
I was going to say it's either going to be freshman or 8th grade. Mm-hmm. Keep in mind, this is in small town, Michigan.
Yes.
Right? Like super small.
Yeah.
Anyways, they were like, we go to our classes are like we are with the same kids from kindergarten all the way up.
Right.
Which is wild.
But it's not that different from what we did.
No, I guess the difference was that we had a lot of elementary schools and then they kind of got all merged.
Yes.
So we were at a very small elementary school. So we actually didn't go. We didn't know it.
But that's not the case now. Like the case
that's
now.
True. That is the way it's going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're very right.
They're with everyone all the way up.
Yeah.
But it was like, so these messages start again.
Yeah.
And they're much more aggressive.
Yeah.
This time, vulgar. And they're so familiar with the people in the town that they are like able to look around in class and be like, all right, who's acting suspect?
Or who's got their phone out when I just got this message.
Yes. They would tell people, like her and her boyfriend were still the ones who were like the victims of this, the targets of this.
Yes.
They were like telling people different things to see what
it
then
would
the
come
messages
up.
would say to help pinpoint who it might be.
And
I had a friend who used to do that.
That is?
He'd tell stories, and whoever, like when it got back to him, when someone was like, hey, so-and-so was talking about this, he'd know exactly which person it was.
Game of Thrones shit. They do that in Game of Thrones. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So then, just so you know, the volume of these two, not only are they aggressive and like graphic at some points.
Yeah.
It's like finger fuck, make me cream.
It's so bad.
So disgustingly
it's so
graphic.
Bad. Like, I don't even want to say what some of these messages were, but just know that my face.
Finger fuck suck was me and Corey's favorite.
It was like absurd.
Yeah.
And they kept using her nickname, like the girl's name I think was Lauren.
Yeah,
and they kept calling her Low. And she's like, okay, so it's somebody who knows my nickname.
But they're getting these messages up to like 40 to 50 a day. So this person is relentlessly harassing them, stalking them.
It's like ding,
cyberbullying.
Ding, ding, ding. So much so that then the parents take it to the school and they're like, you need to do something about this.
Yeah, and the local police.
The school's looking at the cameras, trying to see who's on their phone, when the vault, like the mass texts are coming in. They're like coming up empty.
Yeah.
Everyone's coming up empty. The police officers are coming up empty. They keep like pulling in kids who they think it might be. Also, my favorite parts is like it would be out of focus and then it would zoom in and it's like
she's standing
so
there.
and so, and then it's like the next person who's being framed in the storyline.
Yeah, because it was so crazy. They were really just like full on interrogating people. Like they were taking it very seriously.
They were like, this girl who's a known mean girl but also friends with the boyfriend, it's her. And then it's like, never mind, it's actually his cousin,
because there was a picture that was taken at a family Christmas party.
Yes.
And who would have been at the Christmas? The cousin.
Yes.
She's the only child that was there at this Christmas.
And they're saying she would also want to frame the mean girl because the mean girl and her friends threw carrots at her.
That's true. Which, do you believe that?
Oh, I do believe it.
She made up a rumor that we threw carrots at her. Babes, you
threw carrots at that girl.
I listened to you guys talk for 5 seconds and I was like, they threw those carrots.
Yeah,
they
100%.
absolutely threw those carrots.
I saw that meme where someone's like, I don't know much, but I know they threw those fucking carrots.
Yes.
You are not telling me you didn't throw them. And that, you know what? They weren't even on trial for that. That's not why we're here.
That's not the movie.
That's not why we gathered you here today.
No.
But today, on this day, the day of the rapture, I'm going to tell you, those girls threw those carrots.
Yeah, 100%.
That girl was mortified. She's traumatized.
I'm so sad for
I
her
know.
because she reminded me a lot of me in high school. And I was like,
I thought that too.
Yeah, like she was really very much me. And she was like just so scared that the police like again interrogated her. And she was like, what the fuck? So anyways.
It makes me sad because I remember like I felt like I would have been thrown the carrots. I'm not gonna lie.
You
I'm not
would have
gonna
been
paint
at the
myself.
table they would have been coming from. I'll tell you that for sure. I don't know if you would have directly thrown them.
Probably, honestly, I might have been the only one throwing them. That's the shit that would happen. Is like I would do things thinking I was defending my friends. Sure. Meanwhile, I was the one who was like being used.
You were like the henchman.
Yeah.
That's fucked up, dude.
I know. I was the what is that word?
A scapegoat?
No.
Just kidding. That's what it says.
Shoulda, woulda. No. Minion.
You were their minion. Wow. You couldn't have been more minion.
I know. And that makes me sad because like they didn't really like me. They just liked that I could throw a mean carrot.
Yeah. They were like, she'll do whatever we want her to. And we don't even have to ask.
Yeah, because she's got a sad home life and she's ugly. She'll throw this carrot.
Cherry, please.
What?
Anyways, back to it. Now at this point, came out so aggressively. Now, at this point, both of the mothers are really like banding together. The mother of the boyfriend and the girlfriend situation, the young kids.
Yeah, they're like, our kids are under attack by this person.
We have to figure out, and they're
at the
working
school
together
all the time. They're
harassing the teachers and shit.
They're like, we're going to go into classrooms and we're going to demand things. And the principal's like, you can't fucking do this.
Hey, this is my place.
Yeah.
That's my specialty.
It was very much like a weird power dynamic of like, I'm the sheriff in this town.
100%. But as a
Everyone's
mother,
dicks were being thrown
that's
around.
true. There was dicks all over the
school.
place. But to be fair, as a mother, if that shit was happening to me, no.
Oh, yeah.
I have some thoughts. If that shit was happening to my kid, number one, I would be furious and be like, we have to figure it out. Number two, I'm taking your phone away.
Yes.
Sorry. I'm getting you a bark phone like I did for Noah, which I could see and we can block numbers and we can make sure that you don't get any incoming text from any kind of apps or anything.
That was a thing, too, where the police
spoiler
officers...
alert, they were using an app to like give random phone number generators. So they could just, even if you blocked it, they could
change the number. I think it was the police officer was like, have you changed her number?
Yeah, and they're like,
and mom's like, no, I don't want to do that. And I think both moms were against doing that. And I feel like I would have changed the number.
Yeah.
Now,
they're like,
we'll find out that wouldn't matter.
Yes, that's true. But for a moment, maybe it would have, though, because then you could really keep a record of who has his number.
Who has access to that,
Who's got the number. Then you start over from like scratch.
Who's got the number from the new cell phone? Is you?
No, it's mine. What did I say? No, it's mine? I don't know what I just said there. I think I blacked out. I'm so tired.
Yeah. Hey.
Anyways, okay. My brain is at like 2%.
I wasn't even going to say anything. In my mind, I didn't think it was a you problem. I thought it was a me like computing problem.
You took it incorrectly.
Yeah. And I would have lived with that.
Yeah.
Fine. I wouldn't have pushed back.
No, I had to call it out because I knew that I would hear it again later and be like, you stupid bitch. What the
Until
hell
I went
was
to
that?
edit it and then I went, wait a minute.
100%.
Although there's a chance I would have been like, nope, still a me problem, probably.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, anywho's, all of these things are going on. The FBI gets involved, okay? Now it's serious.
Yeah, now it's escalating.
Now is where I'm like, hey, the person that kept doing it, are you insane?
Right.
Because, well, the answer is yes, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But how did you think you were going to get away with that one? The FBI
at this
can
point, they've gotten away with, we'll find out, a lot. And once you've gotten away with a lot, I feel like you almost get this complex of like invincibility.
Yeah, because they also start texting other kids too.
Mm-hmm.
They texted the
kids, the boy's cousin, the boyfriend's cousin.
Thank you. They texted the
carrot cousin, if you will.
Carrot cousin. They texted the
mean girl.
Did they?
I thought they texted the mean girl.
No,
maybe
but
not.
The boyfriend and the girlfriend eventually split up because of this whole thing.
Yes.
It's very sad. They go their separate ways. He gets a new girlfriend, and she's from towns away, mind you.
Yes.
And she starts getting text messages.
Yeah.
From this number.
Yeah.
Saying Owen is mine. By the way, the boyfriend's name is Owen, Lauren and Owen. Okay. Owen is receiving weird messages. Like it's almost all kind of fixated around wanting him.
Yeah, it's very sexual in nature.
And it's strange because it's like the entire thing is I want to break you two up. And then to the girl, it's horrible.
Yeah.
It is like calling her every name in the book as in like what she looks like, tearing down her
negatively about her body, about like specific body parts of hers,
telling her that he was going to leave her because she wouldn't give him a blowjob. And she was 14.
Yeah, crazy.
There's a point as to why we're telling you all this, and just remember how graphic and disgusting these messages are. And then it escalates pretty quickly to every day telling her that she should
harm herself.
In
the most extreme way.
Yeah. So that's where they're at, and then the FBI get involved, and the FBI.
Well, then I think it then became threats. I think that's why the FBI got involved.
Really?
Because it went from saying you should X yourself to do it or I will. And they always referred to themselves as we. Do it or we will.
Did they?
Yes.
That is one part I didn't catch, but interesting.
I thought that was interesting that the term "we" was used a lot.
Yeah, interesting. Anyways, so the FBI get involved. They track down some IP situations. Duh, because they're the FBI.
Right.
And lo and behold.
Because I think they subpoenaed the actual app company saying,
Yes.
like, hey, we need this
Yes.
information.
Because this is like, yeah. It comes back to Lauren's mom, Kendra. And
Kendra Lamar.
I got words for you, ho. I got words for you, bitch.
Her last name isn't Lamar.
No.
I was doing a play on Kendrick. Kendrick would never.
No, it's Kendrick. Nope. Kendra Lakari.
Oh, so I wasn't that far
You were
off.
pretty close. That's why when you said L, I was like, she doesn't know, but that's okay. She's got the right attitude and the right spirit. Yeah. Anyways, and it's very sad.
She's got a sad home life and she's ugly. We'll give it to her.
It's very sad because, you know, then they leave in, like, that's like midway through you find that out, mind you. And then the rest of the documentary, she is in being interviewed. And so is her daughter. And they show footage, which has a lot of people up in a tizzy, which is why I wanted to talk about what we're talking about, of her being arrested. And essentially, no offense, but I don't feel like, this is my personal opinion, as someone who's never done the job and never will.
Yeah.
I don't feel like the police did a very good job.
I agree.
Of explaining what they were trying to tell. So they had to tell Lauren, like, it's your mom.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go and watch that video, just that video, if you're not interested in the whole documentary, it is strange. It is strange in the way they say it. And I feel like you can watch her just be kind of like confused and like, no, that's not true.
So what happens is the police, the FBI agent, they realize that the number is linked to Lauren's mom, Kendra, and they go to the house and Kendra opens the door and they're like, hey, we are here. We have a search warrant for all of your electronics. Mm-hmm. So at this point in time, they have that it's connected to her number, but they don't have irrefutable evidence that she's done it. And so I think the reason that they were kind of speaking to her in the way that they were and trying
kind of talking around it a little bit.
Yes, was they were trying to get her to admit it.
Yeah.
Without like coercing it out of her or without
That's a good point.
being accusatory.
That is a very good point.
I don't love that that the daughter was there.
Yeah.
They
pulled her in to tell her.
I know.
Yeah.
And that was
I think they should have told her without the mom present, because if you watch it, then immediately her mom is like all over her. Like jumps her, like practically sits on her lap.
Remind me.
Is rubbing her legs, is rubbing her arms, like very much trying to like console her as they're telling her like, hey, we found a number. The number comes back to your mom.
Your mom is the one who's been sending you these messages.
Yeah.
That has been harassing you for 2 years.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah. Because it goes on for quite some time.
Was the dad present initially when they told her?
No.
See, that's where I have an issue. I think if they were going to have her, they should have waited until the dad got back.
I agree. Because then the dad comes in and he's pissed.
Obviously.
And, yeah. He's having, I would say, a more appropriate reaction. And I think everyone is really harping on Lauren's reaction, that she didn't just like kick her mom in the tits or something and freak out.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think they realized that
she was probably in shock.
She was probably in shock. And she was also potentially obviously she was being abused. Like, let's just call it what it is. It's a weird form of like cyber abuse, but you were emotionally harassing, stalking, and
threatening,
bullying your child for years.
Right.
So I think that there was like a bit of that element to it as well.
It would be very hard if I'm Lauren to hear those things, knowing that for the last 2 years, my mom had been somebody I confided in and that helped me through it, like to navigate all of these horrible things and like being my champion to make that make sense with what I'm being told right now.
Yeah.
I would like Dissociation Station. I'm driving the train.
Yes.
Like that's it.
Exactly that. And for me, it felt very much like watching someone who had, which is what we're talking about today, Stockholm syndrome. I am not obviously a therapist or anybody who can diagnose her, but I saw that theory a lot online as well. And I was like, you know what? That's an interesting thing that I have kind of always wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's regardless, she is the victim here. She's the biggest victim in this entire situation. And so I think that needs to be kept in mind because she was also 13 when it started.
She was a minor.
Yeah.
I also saw it was mentioned in the documentary, and I never even thought about this, that they were speculating that the mom could have had cyber Munchausen's.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I think that's exactly what was happening.
If you're not familiar with Munchausen's, it's what happened with Gypsy Rose Blanchard, where her mom was creating these horrific.
Both of those are Munchausen by proxy.
Yes.
Because Munchausen itself is you harm yourself.
Yes.
To gain attention.
Yes.
And then Munchausen by proxy, you do it to like your child, someone that you are a caregiver for.
Do it to someone who's a caregiver or close to you.
So that you can get that attention and that like sympathy. Reassurance and that like, oh my God, you're being such an amazing caretaker when all of these things are happening.
Yes.
Look at you. What a great mom. What a great, look at you fighting for your child. And crazy.
And so obviously that would be more of what Kendra was doing. There are moths in here and it is cracking me up because they're like thrilled with these lights. The amount of lights that are in here, they're like they're on having a playground right now. Time.
Also, I just want to say I did just say crazy. I didn't mean like I wasn't calling that crazy. I was saying like the situation as a whole is wild to me because of the fact that like I had never even thought that cyber Munchausen by proxy could be a thing.
Yes, that it could be something that is now more mental instead of physical
harm, which is just as horrible.
At times it can be worse.
Yeah, have more lasting effects, long-lasting effects. That's for sure.
Yeah, and that is backed. That is not like me saying that. That's backed online. Whenever I was doing a lot of research about like trauma and like emotional abuse, the way it rewires your brain, like you said, the lasting effects,
very long lasting,
could have a huge impact. I also want to note that the mom had lied about losing multiple jobs.
Yeah.
And
she was still pretending to go to work.
She was pretending to go to work. She was.
That situation gives me like Family Annihilator vibes. Like that's what people do right before they like end their whole families. So it's very scary, the path that she was heading down. I'll tell you that.
Yes.
Thank God they caught on to it when they did.
Why was there so much alcohol on the table?
Was there?
I didn't see
that. But
if you looked in the background, it almost looked like they had a store. And I don't mean that it was like
maybe it looked
like
a bar.
No. I'm going to pull it up while you explain what we're doing.
So we're going to talk. Let me just dive into this for a moment. And I'll tell you just real quick, because I just got a WebMD and obviously things that I watched online. But this is just something to kind of run through it together. But so it says, what is Stockholm Syndrome? Stockholm Syndrome isn't a psychological diagnosis. Instead, it's a way of understanding the emotional response some people have towards a captor or an abuser. So I thought this was just like captors, like kidnapping. Turns out no. It happens to some abuse and hostage victims when they have positive feelings towards an abuser or a captor. Sometimes people who are held prisoner or are subjected to abuse can have feelings of sympathy or other positive feelings towards their captor. This seems to happen over days, weeks, months, or years of captivity or close contact to the captor, which I feel like if it's a parent role, that's how that can happen. A bond can grow between the victim and the captor, and this can lead to kind treatment and less harm from the abuser, as they might also create a positive bond with their victims. So again, I feel like it's a little bit of a survival skill to be like, hey, if I make you grow to feel attached to me and see me as a human, then you'll treat me better. And this isn't such a scary situation for me anymore.
Yes.
Someone who has Stockholm Syndrome might have confusing feelings towards their abuser, including love, sympathy, empathy, and a desire to protect them.
Yes.
Stockholm Syndrome might also cause the hostage to have negative feelings towards the police or anyone else who, quote, attempts to rescue them.
Yeah, I could understand that.
Okay.
I think anybody who's been in a toxic relationship, whether that's
like abusive, I would say, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I can't speak for everyone who's been like with a toxic partner.
Yeah.
Because I know that there were people who would talk to me and say things, and it would make me want to protect that person. It would make me want to hide things. It would make me want to distance myself from them.
Yep.
And I know, like, for you, that was
huge. Yeah.
And you can call it abuse for you. Like,
I'm
just speaking like on a general sense of people overall who maybe haven't categorized what they'd been through as abuse. I didn't want them to like think that, because I never want people to hear these things and think whatever happened to me wasn't that bad, so I couldn't fall into that category.
Yeah, I just didn't want it to be like all, and then it, because that felt like very firm stance on that. So, but I do believe, especially with abuse, that it is like all people feel this sense of like a weird sense of, it's the cycle of abuse, right? Where they do something horrible to you and then you get love bombed again and you get that like attachment to them. And so it almost creates this, like we talked about it with trauma bonding, it almost creates this like chemical need for that cycle to repeat, because you get addicted to that good feeling, that like love bombing afterwards, those really high highs.
Or the adrenaline of the low.
Right, 100%. So it can cause you to really want.
I would also feel like if I'm Lauren, I can't imagine how complicated my feelings would be at 14. But as like a 34-year-old person now, I would feel almost like relief immediately following finding out it was my mom, because I'd be like, oh, thank God.
You think?
It's her and not someone else. Like,
that's wild. That is a wild
take. Do you know
take.
what I mean?
I don't.
Because in my mind, no, it's still horrible. In the abuse cycle, to be like, this scary boogeyman is actually someone I know.
Oh, okay.
It's someone who's not unknown. It's not somebody who was lurking in the shadows that I was unaware of.
Yeah.
It's this person who supposedly loves me, and I may not understand why they did that.
You mean that maybe it would have like made you feel like it wasn't as traumatic as maybe you would look back on it as?
No. I'm saying I don't know how I would feel at 14, because this didn't happen to me at 14. I'm processing this at 34. I'm saying when I hear that, my first thought might be relief, only because it's not a stranger.
Yeah.
And because it's my mom, I have this complicated need to love and care for her and support her. Almost unwavering loyalty.
Sure.
And like the feelings of pain and betrayal would come later. Like the feeling of pain, the feeling of like...
By the way, I don't know if you noticed this, but I think that is why, the editors edited it to tell a story, right? Yeah. And they want you to feel that moment that we all felt, which is like, how is at the end of this, she's saying she still loves her mom and like da-da-da-da-da, right?
Yeah.
But if you look, she looks like it's very recent, like it's newer when she's in that pink sweatshirt sitting on her bed. When she's in the gray one sitting downstairs, I think her mom had been in jail for a while at that point or had just gotten released. She had not spoken to her.
Yeah, because if you do watch this, this was not...
Or seen her, I mean, in person.
This was not filmed consecutively. This was not filmed at one time.
Gaps.
There were literal years.
Probably because they wanted to wait for her to get out, Kendra, to sit her down with this interview.
Potentially, yeah.
Because I couldn't believe that she agreed to that. That was absolutely, that to me almost confirms the Munchausen by proxy, because it's like she is like loving this attention no matter how she gets it.
Well, yeah, she doubles down. She's trying to, there's a part in it where she compares herself to someone breaking the law in a car by speeding.
Or drunk driving.
And it's like, hey... We're not the same. That's not the same.
And drunk driving is very bad. Don't get me wrong.
And she doesn't even say drunk driving. She just says having a drink and getting behind.
That's
the
right.
wheel
She
of the
doesn't
car.
say drunk driving. She says having a drink, and getting behind the wheel, which is
again, which you shouldn't do. However,
very different than stalking and cyber bullying
It's
your
also very
daughter
different than
and her boyfriend
drunk
for years.
driving. Like, I feel like if you say like, oh yeah, because there is a legal limit. You know what I mean?
That's very
It's
true.
not saying 0. Again, don't do it. But drunk driving, I think we all can agree, is over the legal limit.
Yeah.
It's now you are intoxicated behind the wheel in a way which is going to impair your ability to function.
Yeah.
Causing you to potentially cause harm to yourself or others.
Yeah, that typically doesn't happen after one drink.
That's what she's she's not comparing those two things.
Yeah, that's wild.
Do you know what I mean?
I do.
She's like making it like it was it's just going through a lot. Yeah, babe.
Girl, all of your own accord.
Yes.
That's my favorite part is when she was like, but what about me? But what about me?
And that's after jail.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? The interview where they speak to
I thought
her.
it was really kind of fucked up that they let her email her daughter through jail. I was
I
like,
agree.
that should have
I
been probably not something that she should have been allowed to do.
The fact that they were in contact at all at any point felt so wildly inappropriate.
Like if she makes the decision to go visit you in jail and sit down across from you and speak to you, okay. But you sending her emails when you're in jail for cyberbullying and stalking her?
And the emails, mind you, from my memory,
Very strange.
were very strange.
They were very much like, they were love bomby.
They were love bomby and they were very manipulative.
I think that people don't think, or I mean, I'm sure some of us know that like your parents can love bomb you, but really
Anyone
she is
can.
like,
You know what I mean?
I just don't think people think of it because they think love, romantic love.
Yes,
but
yes,
like,
yes.
yeah, it is that parental. She was very much using that parental love and like telling her she was the best thing in the entire world, and it was very like, I don't know, strange.
Yeah.
Very strange. Okay, keeping going.
Because I think she also talked about like how much it mattered to hear from her. And in that way, again, now she's making it Lauren's responsibility.
Yes.
To please her, like to take care of her in a way.
That part. It's like, take care of me, that's going to come into play here. So Stockholm Syndrome, by the way, came to be, the name at least, in 1973 by Nils Bergerath.
Sure.
It's Swedish, so I'm having a hard time. But he was a criminologist in Stockholm, Sweden. He used the term to explain the unexpected reaction that hostages of a local, like in Stockholm, bank raid had towards their captors. So this bank gets held up.
Yep.
They got a bunch of hostages. They are holding these people against their will in a life-threatening situation with guns and the such. I think it was for 4 days, I'm pretty sure.
4 days?
I'm pretty sure it was for 4 days.
Shit.
However,
Did they order pizza? Like,
I'm sure they had food. I really don't know.
I was gonna say, it's at a bank. It's not like they were at a mall.
I watched this 2 weeks ago and I thought that's when we would be doing it. I watched all these videos.
Yeah.
So honestly, I can't really remember that specific detail.
Yeah.
But what I do know is that the individuals they started having positive relationships with these captors to the point where they didn't want the police to arrest them. And then when the police did arrest them, they helped pay for their lawyers after they were caught.
Yo.
Like they were very much like, let them go. They're fine. Like everything is fine.
That's to another level because like I could understand wanting to befriend them almost like as a form of guaranteeing myself some level of safety or access to things.
It's not just like a survival technique in the way of almost like a manipulating.
Yeah.
It's like they genuinely develop close feelings.
Yeah.
Close, positive, like a bond.
Yeah.
It's very strange. So Stockholm Syndrome symptoms, even though Stockholm Syndrome, that is so hard for me to say over and over and over again, is not a formal medical diagnosis. People who have this syndrome seem to have some of these same symptoms in common, and these include affection for or attachment to their abuser, attempting to help the abuser, distrust of or anger towards those trying to extract them from their situation, rationalizing the abuse, perceiving basic dignity as kindness, and feeling powerless.
Yeah.
And then after leaving abusive relationships or being held captive held captive, they might also have many other symptoms, including denial, social withdrawal, chronic feelings of tensions, feeling of emptiness, depression, anxiety, learned helplessness, excessive dependence, loss of interest in activities, embarrassment at their emotions towards their abuser, which that's high. I felt that heavily. I probably felt that for more than a couple years after leaving mine, is like the shame and embarrassment I felt at being so sad still, and really just like caring that what if he was okay, and like the feeling of loss, even though I was the one that pulled myself out of it, the grief I felt of it like being severed for good. It was crazy. Loss of interest in activities. Oh, I already said that one. Excuse me. Confusion, guilt, difficulties trusting others, PTSD, nightmares, insomnia, flashbacks, and startling easily.
Yeah.
Stockholm Syndrome cases. So not all people who are in situations experience Stockholm Syndrome. So obviously. However, it's not entirely clear why some people react this way, but it's thought to be a survival mechanism. A person might create these bonds as a way to cope with an extreme or very terrifying information. Some key pieces to increase the likelihood of developing Stockholm Syndrome include being in an emotionally charged situation for a long time, which is what this felt like.
Yes.
Something that was so highs and lows. And my thought process is they don't directly say it, but when she was having these things happen to her, I think probably the person she was going to for comfort, it was her mom.
Yes.
That was her biggest comfort. So now, kind of like what you said, where you think you would feel almost relief, it might have also been terrifying when she realized that, like, oh, this person's going to jail now because it's almost like you can't connect these two as the same person, and you're like, yeah, maybe I'm losing the one that's harming me, but I'm also losing my biggest comfort, the one that is consoling me through all of this.
Yes.
And now I'm going through big feelings and I'm losing that person.
Right.
So now what?
Yeah.
Which again, I felt as well.
Yeah, because you're like, who do I go to when the person that I go to is the person that's causing me to need to go to someone?
Exactly. And what's crazy is for a long time, I didn't realize that, like, once you don't have the one, you don't need the other one as much. And that's why certain people do certain things to keep you close to them, or like to create that feeling and that bond. Because, I didn't realize how much I didn't need somebody to constantly comfort me and make me feel safe and secure when I didn't have someone also terrorizing me all the time.
I have a theory. This is just from personal experience with observing people and bits that I gathered from watching the show. Documentary?
Yeah.
Is that what you would call it? Documentary?
Yeah, I believe so. Sorry, my nose is so itchy. It's crazy. I think one of these has flown up into my nostril and there's like a dog hair or something up there. I can't.
Well, there's definitely dog hair.
Yeah.
But I feel that Kendra was a very deeply, this is assuming, by the way, insecure person who had always felt inferior, who always felt like they were a part of the have-nots, that for whatever reason, they were always below. They were always trying to achieve something. And I feel that Lauren was achieving success.
Yes.
She was on the volleyball team. She had
very
good friends.
athletic.
She was pretty. She had a boyfriend. Yep. She seemed like she was doing well in school. And I felt as almost that there was this jealousy from her mom and this need to make her small.
Yes.
And to
tear her down a little bit.
And then she'll need me.
Yes.
Because no one's ever needed me, because who needs me?
Yeah.
I think Kendra felt this, assuming, useless worthlessness, and was trying to find a way to feel like she mattered. Yeah. And she did that by hurting her daughter.
Well, it's also, I think if that were the case for her, it would be like killing two birds with one stone.
Yes.
Because then also you're knocking her down in a way that builds
now you don't
up.
feel inferior.
Yeah.
Yes.
yucky.
That was just me putting pieces together that may not go together.
No, I agree though. Another one is being in a shared space with a hostage taker with poor conditions. For example, not having enough food or being in a physically uncomfortable space, which again, we don't all know. And my wondering is if
they did lose their house.
They lost their house. And then I wonder if, because it seemed like the dad and the mom had been talking as if they were fighting for a long time. I wonder if that would also, like, being a child in a house with a lot of fighting, that kind of situation. Heavily, yes.
Yes.
Heavily less.
Long bottomly, yes.
I don't know what's happening anymore for me, and I'm scared. When hostages are dependent on their hostage taker for basic needs.
Yes.
So it makes sense that a child would feel these. When threats to life are not carried out, for example, mock executions, or like you were talking about, if she was the person was sending them like, I'm going to do it if you don't.
Right.
And then when hostages haven't been dehumanized, which I would say feels like the messages were pretty dehumanizing.
Oh, 100%.
But again, she wasn't directly looking at her mother's face when she received those messages. So I think, again, in your brain, it's probably pretty easy to separate those two people.
Yes.
It was easy almost for me to separate. It was like the good and bad person of the person I was dating who abused me. And it was like, because he would act so differently that it was almost like, oh, this is a completely separate person.
Okay,
that person's a bad person.
Actually, you saying that kind of made this click in my head. So imagine it's that person. Let's call him Tim. Okay. It's not his name, obviously.
I've never dated a Tim in my life.
That's why I picked it. So let's say you're going to Tim to help you because someone's doing some fuck shit.
Yes.
And then it's the Boy Meets World episode. Sean's standing in front of Sean, spoiler alert, rips the mask off, realizes it's him.
Yes.
So you are standing across from this person who you finally figure out you're the person who's doing it to me, rip the mask off, and it's Tim.
Yeah.
In your mind, are you like, oh, okay, at least I know what you're capable of. I know how to deal with the pain you've caused me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of having to deal with a new person and
who really could be like, I mean,
a wild card a bit.
Yeah,
like I haven't learned your
the wild card part. Yeah, for sure.
Like obviously, eventually it'll catch up in like the pain of it and the hurt of it. But also it's like, hey. Now we can start the cycle over.
Yeah. Now
again.
Guess
now
what?
You're going to love bomb me.
Guess what? You're going to really love bomb me. And I know that like I'm getting excited for the fact that this is going to be over and I'm going to get a lot of love.
Yes.
Very scared to see what happens from here on out with their relationship. If she does. I mean, here's what I'll say. Aside from the fact that people were thinking that first of all, Chloe, is that your name? The other girl?
Yes.
The girl that they said was the mean girl?
Yes.
Fuck your parents. And I say that heavily because your mom saying with her whole ass fucking chest that Lauren was in on it, you're gross. You're gross. I think you're a bad person for that. If you want to say that about the dad.
Do you know she also dressed up as Kendra at a Halloween party?
Yep. Mm-hmm. And wanted to have a watch party of the documentary. To me, I'm like, oh, okay, so you're a mean girl too.
Yeah.
Got it. But if you want to say whatever you want to say about the dad, that person is an adult and wasn't a direct person that was, I mean, he was still traumatized by this, I'm sure. But to say that a 13-year-old girl would be in on this for attention, you're gross. You're gross for that. I don't like you.
Right.
Sorry.
Especially, okay, let's say there's a sick world where she is in on it.
Do you also think that she's a victim in that scenario?
Yes. What would be happening in order for her to think that would be normal?
Yeah.
That's not okay.
Yeah.
That's also fucked up.
Yeah.
Also a big problem.
Yeah.
I also want to say that, like, I know there's a lot of discourse online about how Lauren's reacting. I don't think we can fucking ever say shit about what Lauren is going through.
Yeah.
She is a child who had to endure one of the most disgusting manipulative, horrific,
Out of this world.
cyber, like emotional abuse
Yeah.
from the person who's supposed to be closest to her. And then she did it. She talked about it in front of the entire world.
Yeah.
The fact that she is even able to articulate anything and is still able to like set goals for herself, like,
Well, that's what I was going to talk about. That was my point in bringing this all up, was because I think it's very telling that she's going to study criminology.
yes,
That to me says more than she said in any of the documentary. You
Right.
think that she's not, do you think she's going to like study criminology for any other reason but to figure out why that like something like this might have happened?
yes,
And guess what? Whether or not she forgives her mom or talks to her or sees her in person again, I think eventually with enough of those classes, she's going to really understand what was happening, and however she chooses to process that in the meantime is none of my fucking business.
none of our business. Yeah.
Anyways, a person might be abused and severely threatened by a captor or an abuser, but they may also rely on them to survive. If the abuser is kind in any way, they might just cling to this as a coping mechanism. They might have sympathy towards them because of this kindness. It's difficult to look through the historical record and diagnose Stockholm Syndrome to another person's particular situation. So I'm going to tell you some high-profile cases here, other cases that...
I know the first one.
Do you?
It's Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, no, but that is. It really kind of is. It's not on this list, though. But here are some that are. In 1933, Mary McElroy, who was 25 years old at the time, she was the daughter of Kansas City politician Henry McElroy. She was kidnapped and held at gunpoint by 4 inexperienced criminals. During her 34 hours of captivity, McElroy ended up befriending the men. The feeling was apparently mutual as the kidnappers released her and then paid for her transportation fare home after receiving $30,000 in ransom. 3 of the men were later caught, and one of them, Walter McGee, was sentenced to death.
Oh, shit.
But this was later changed to life in prison after McElroy protested his sentence.
Oh, my God.
Isn't that wild?
You know what my toxic trait is?
What?
I think I'm so likable that would happen to me.
That
I would get like they would capture me and then they would be like, "You're such a delight. We're going to befriend you, release you, pay for your travel, buy some ice cream on the way home."
On the way, on us.
Yeah, that's how I know I'm not well.
Yeah, and I know that they'd be throwing carrots at my bitch ass. And I know that for a fucking fact. They'd be like, "Can you stop talking? None of the words that are coming out of your mouth are correct in the way that you're saying them." And I'd be
No,
like,
I think you'd
what,
make
you're
them
right.
like you as well.
You really think so?
Yeah. Do I think that either of us are going to go and protest and save these people?
You know what? I don't know. How much they give me for ice cream? How nice are they?
How much of their backstory did I learn?
Are we playing backgammon while we're around? Are we playing?
If I learn enough of
poker?
their backstory that I can rationalize
Girl,
why they may have made the decisions,
I'll
that
make
they've
one
made,
up for myself and for them.
Then you
and
know what?
It humanizes
Maybe
them to me.
That's my specialty.
That's my specialty, is seeing the good in really, really bad people. Unfortunately.
Yeah. I have a golden mental gymnastics.
It's true. Patricia Hearst was a 19-year-old newspaper heiress. She was kidnapped in 1974 by the Symbionese Liberation Army,
Okay.
SLA. The guerrilla organization was banking on Hearst's status to bring attention to their case, and it did. To the surprise of many, the young woman, after they let her go, ends up joining the cause, the SLA, despite having been tied up and threatened with death by prominent SLA members for many weeks.
Well, there you go.
She even participated in several armed robberies over the next year.
Well, look at you.
Oh, I lied. Actually, this would be me.
Little star student. You know what's funny is I just watched Elio with my kids last night, which is a new Disney movie.
Yeah.
And there was kind of like a Stockholm situation there. It wasn't Stockholm. Well, I don't know. This person was kidnapped and then they befriended their captor, but I think he was on the kidnapping.
Oh, I'm going to have to watch that movie. I've
Yeah.
never even heard of that.
It's aliens.
Oh, Hell yeah. Eventually, the FBI caught Hearst and a number of other SLA members following a massive raid, and Hearst later used Stockholm Syndrome as part of her defense in the trial.
That's big brain, long game.
That is. That's what I've always said.
They also used to call me.
Okay, so this is where I wanted to get to. This is an important part of the article. This is why I chose this article.
Okay.
Because it's going to talk about Stockholm Syndrome in relationships. Though it was originally coined to describe the emotional state of hostages, the phrase Stockholm Syndrome has been widely applied to more intimate, everyday relationships now. These include parental bonds, romantic partnerships, and even friendships. Like its original context, Stockholm Syndrome in relationships usually reflects a power imbalance. And that's where this all, it goes from.
And I also
that's like the main thing at the center of this.
Well, and I also feel like if that's something that you've experienced like your whole life, that's why I think I'm really happy that Lauren is going into something or wanting to research something that is going to have her fully understand like the psyche and developmental and like all of that stuff, so that she could potentially pick out patterns in the future. Because if you are raised believing that that's normal, you will seek it out. Because it feels familiar.
It feels comfortable.
Yes.
As well as some kind of abuse of that power, obviously. Stockholm Syndrome can develop in many settings, including, number one is child abuse. So that's where we're talking about here. Abuse can be very confusing for children. Abusers may often threaten and physically harm their victims, but they might also show kindness that can be interpreted as love or affection. An emotional bond can grow between the child and the abuser that often protects the abuser for a very long time. The children of abusive parents or guardians may also be convinced that they, quote, deserved whatever punishment their caregivers doled out. I'm not going to go through all of these individually, but just know the rest are sports, which she was her coach as
She
well.
was her coach, yep. That's another power imbalance.
And
another way to just like there's a loss of privacy, I feel like, in a lot of these situations where your, I guess, abuser has their fingers in all your pies.
Yeah.
They have access
they
to
want to be in every part of your life.
Yes. There is no you outside of them.
Yeah, 100%.
And
no,
so
you're
then
exactly
you
right.
feel like if they're not there, then a piece of you is missing as well.
Yeah.
And that's part of it. That's like the point of it.
Yes. So then it's like you can't go back into the real world. You need me.
Right.
I need to be doing all these things because I'm in every part of your life.
Right.
So how are you going to grow a new one without me? You're going to start all the way over at zero?
Yeah. You don't know how to do that.
No, you don't. But you do. You do.
And you can learn.
Yeah.
So many resources. So many of them are free as well.
Domestic violence, abuse, sexual, physical, or emotional is another one. And then also sex trafficking. This can be another big one. So Stockholm Syndrome is not something that's recognized by the American Psychological Association, and it's not listed as a formal mental health diagnosis in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Health Disorders. While therapists can't treat it directly, they can treat related conditions, including acute stress disorder or PTSD.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure that like there's a lot under that umbrella that can be targeted.
Exactly. Some very small takeaways is that Stockholm Syndrome is not an officially recognized diagnosis in most clinical circles, but it is usually associated with PTSD, anxiety, depression, which can all be treated by conventional means. So if you or someone you know has experienced Stockholm Syndrome, either in a traumatic hostage situation or in a relationship, you should seek help from a therapist because they can teach you coping mechanisms for probably one of the other things that you're dealing with, which is most likely one of those three, if not all three.
Yes. And I assume they would also be able to help you with pattern recognition and
which again is what I really hope she figures out and can help her move on and
because
move forward.
Once I truly feel like once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Oh no, it's like the blindness come down and you're like, oh.
And it's very hard to go back to playing that role.
Yeah.
It's almost like a vortex that you've stepped outside of and you're like, you can't convince me. You can't pay me to go back in there. I won't do it.
Yeah. 100%.
But also I feel like I'm supposed to.
I just want everyone, even though most people have moved on, there's like everything else in the world right now, it's like something has a week of your time and attention, and then it's on to the next big thing. But if anybody is watching this or on online spaces discussing it, please just keep in mind that the person in this is a victim. Both children, all children that were in this really were victims of this person, and to just kind of like remember that they're also still kids.
Yes.
So,
and that is the trauma that they experienced is going to stay with them for a long time, and now it is
amplified,
especially with it being on Netflix.
Yeah,
because something that they experienced for the first time years ago and may have like moved forward in their healing journey, other people are starting back at the beginning, and when faced with the beginning of your own trauma over and over and over and over again, it can really throw you back in your healing journey. So understand that just because we watch this one on Netflix doesn't mean that other people aren't experiencing something similar, equally as horrible and personal to them. And so,
your words matter, everybody. Yeah. Keep that in mind. That's a big takeaway I'd like you all to have. Your words matter online and offline.
Mm-hmm.
So, make good choices.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And come see us on tour, I guess.
You should, for sure.
Feels like such a weird time to do a promotion.
But we are at the end of the episode, so it's either that or just to leave you with a goodbye.
Which we'll do in a second.
Yeah.
After we tell you to go to ladiesandtangents.com to find shows near you, or patreon.com/ladiesandtangents to get bonus content. We've got years worth of bonus content.
So much bonus content. It's like eyeballs.
Yeah.
Full.
And other fun things as well. So.
Also, if you want to come, Pittsburgh, Chicago, you're coming up next. So you better buy your tickets soon if you want to go to either one of those two shows.
Very excited for those two.
Well, Pittsburgh was our very first show we ever did live ever.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't a Camp Tangents or Girls Got Mild show, but it was still phenomenal. So I cannot wait to be in that room again.
It was sold out.
It is sold out?
It was. That show.
Yes, that's right. That show did sell out, so just keep that in mind. And Chicago is going to be great because that's an awesome venue and awesome people and all of the good things. So
yeah,
those two shows are going to be amazing. Please come see it.
We're very excited. Well, that is that on unknown number and also potential Stockholm syndrome.
Yes.
Thanks for hanging out with us, everyone. We love you so much, and we'll see you next week.
All right.
We're out.
Goodbye.